All right, what is up, everybody? How we doing? Today is Monday, May 9th, 2022. This is the Slate. We are a DraftKings show. We come to you every weekday, Monday through Friday, right in that 5 o'clock window, 5:23 start for us today. We come to you after the Madden simulation on the DraftKings YouTube and Twitch pages if you're watching us there. If you're just finding us now on Twitter via @DK Live, the DK Nation Twitter feed, you get a lot of news and updates there. We're going to kind of do that, but in a show format. So thanks for choosing us. Thanks for stopping by. Brendan Glasheen with Jeff Ulrich. He is a jack of all trades at this company, DraftKings. He covers racing first and foremost. I want to get that out there first. He covers golf, which we'll get to, NFL, hockey, all on the table here on this episode of the Slate. So we'll start with some golf and work our way through. Want to talk a little? There's some lines out for NFL games already. That's kind of cool. Yep. The international games and some Monday night games. Like there's week 2 Monday night football lines, but not week 1 Monday night football. It's like, so these games, all of a sudden these schedule leaks start coming out, and then bam, they put a line up on DraftKings, on the DraftKings Sportsbook. So that is pretty neat. But we'll get into all of it. Jeff, how'd you do over the weekend for the Wells Fargo Championship?
I mean, like most of my guys kind of were out of contention. I mean, CT Pan was nice, 15th. So if you took like the top 20 on him, he's been really consistent. That was nice, but didn't really have I got on Matt Wolfe in play early on the tournament, and I think it was a good number. It just Matt Wolfe's still driving it just a little bit too wild off the tee to compete at venues like TPC Pontiac. I actually think this week could be a better spot for Matt Wolfe. So we'll talk about that. But yeah, as far as the week went, I mean, I think went for me like it went for a lot of people. Like it just wasn't that great. I mean, if you were on Max Homa, that's great. If you had like a top 5 on Keegan or something, or Cam Young, probably profitable too. But I don't think that many people were on Max Homa last week. And maybe we should have been, because I mean, like 3 wins now and like, I don't even know, a year and a half for Max Homa or something. Anyways, he's turning into a really fantastic player. Especially at these tougher courses, like tougher conditions just seem to favor Max Homa. So, yeah, there was some guys on plus money that did make the cut that could have been annoying if you were on some of them, like Leishman, Woodland, Simpson, Reed, all guys with bogeys on the second during the second round. Jason Day had a great first round. It kind of snuck up on everybody. But yes, if you were on Keegan Bradley in some capacity to finish high, if you had him as a winner, that's a real bummer because he had the lead for quite a bit, but could not hold on. So yes, Homa, the victor in the Wells Fargo Championship. So we turn our attention to the AT&T Byron Nelson full field event, 150 plus golfers. Now you talked with Emerson about this morning on the sweat. What is when you look at approach to DFS, or if you're looking to play some bets, which I know you take some time throughout the week to read up on news, do your final analysis. You've got the cheat sheet up right now over on the DraftKings playbook. What are some opening thoughts, some things you're prioritizing when you look at this event? Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a little bit unique the week before the major. A lot of people get sort of riled up and, they question the motivation tactics, but, just there's 7, I think there's 7 players in the top 15 here this year. And it just kind of shows you like these guys are interested in competing this week because they want practice for next week. And a lot of these players we're talking about, Dustin Johnson, Xander, Justin Thomas, and Brooks, they haven't won in a while, man. Like this is an important event, much like Mexico was kind of important for John Rahm a couple weeks ago. It's important for some of these guys. So, I mean, I like this. I like this field. I'm liking this event. And I like it from the perspective of we're getting good numbers on some top players. Like the last few weeks, it's just felt like, okay, we got Rory at the top. You can't bet him because the number's too short. And then there's like Corey Connors at like plus 1,600.
Yep.
Which some people took, but it's just not good numbers on these guys. So this week, it finally feels like we're finally back to getting some good numbers. Now, not everyone has a good number. Will Zalatoris at plus 1,400 is not bettable, but you could definitely start with Dustin or Xander here at plus 1,800. I'd definitely prefer Dustin Johnson, but you could start there. Those guys are elite players. Dustin is still a guy who's essentially won at like a win or more per rate through his whole career. I know he didn't win on the PGA last year. He did win in Saudi Arabia, but you go down the board, there's even better value. You can make a case for Sam Burns, who was runner up here, but then you look at plus 3,500, Koepka, Matsuyama, And I'm going to give you a couple reasons why both those guys, I like him here. Actually, I'm going to give you one really easy reason right off the bat. And it's the correlation that we have with TPC Scottsdale. It's the Tom Weiskopf design this week, TPC Craig Ranch. Guess what? Tom Weiskopf also designed TPC Scottsdale. Guess who's won multiple times there? Brooks Koepka and Hideki Matsuyama. This correlation worked like a charm for me last year because that's how I was able to pick out KH Lee, a needle in a haystack of 175 to 1. He won. He was second at TPC Scottsdale in 2021. Came to TPC Craig Ranch. Similar style setup, risk reward. Reward's good iron play and good putting. And KH Lee, dominated here too. So my favorite bet right now is probably Brooks, but I could get down with just starting with both those guys plus 3,500. I'm fine with it, man. I mean, Brooks, yeah, he missed the cut at the Masters, but we've seen him in contention before too. And I'm telling you, like, this is an important event for Brooks, just like it was in Mexico for Rahm. So that's the way I'm looking at the top of the board this week. There's finally some better net numbers on these big players. And just to end off on that whole point, I know it's a lot. Brooks Koepka's number for the PGA Championship next week is plus 1,800. How does he have a shorter number in a way harder field than he does this week? It's like, it makes no sense. So yeah, of course you take the plus 3,500 on Brooks.
Interesting. That is something. Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Plus 1,600 next week at the Players or at the PGA Championship, excuse me. And then, and he's plus 3,500 for Byron Nelson this week. Okay. Good stuff. And yeah, he's actually, look, outside of a couple missed cuts, like you said, he's played his last couple events, he's played well on the tour. So you look at just pulling up his DFS numbers. Honda Classic, a top 16 finish. Valspar, top 12 finish. So yes, Koepka has come around here as of late. If you've got questions in the chat, see our old friend Kyle is in the YouTube chat. Hello, Kyle. Good to see you again, pal. Good to talk to you too. If you have any feedback, any thoughts, questions,
definitely
please.
throw the go. Sorry about that. There's the FedEx guy comes at the worst time. But anyways,
all good. How about some sleepers?
Yeah, absolutely, man. And like, since we have a stronger top of the field as well, it's pushed down the numbers on some of these players that we've seen. Like Aaron Wise is a good example. Aaron Wise played really well in Mexico, but we were betting Aaron Wise there at plus 3,000. Now he's plus 5,500, and he's coming off like a top 5, top 10 finish. He's a really good young player. He's won this event before. Obviously, he was at a different course, but TPC Craig Ranch also has some of the same similarities that Trinity Forest did, where he won. It's open off the tee. It's kind of going to reward those high-end ball strikers. Aaron Wise gained 7 strokes on approach his last time out. So I think that, you're getting a good number on him, getting a good number on Maverick McNeely too. Another good young player whose approach game is starting to round into form. I think you can go a little bit further down. A guy like Mito Pereira at plus 6,500. He had to take a couple events off because of a back issue, but I'm fine with that. You got to take a little bit of risk. Plus 6,500. He's a really, really like high-end ball striker as well. I like this setup for Mito. So those are 3 young players. Again, you can construct your betting card multiple ways this week, but I like starting with Brooks and then dipping down into this mid-range, looking at like one or more of Wise, Pereira, and Maverick McNeely, I think, to start. And there's other names in here, like Mark Leishman started to show some form last week.
Yep,
he's a prolific winner. We know that. Siwoo Kim a plus 6,500 is really not a bad bet at all. So there's lots of players, and it's more bettable numbers because of the top end of the field this week. So again, I think the last couple of weeks it's been a little bit tougher for betting purposes, getting short numbers on the top players, and then. Obviously John Rahm cleared the board. Max Homa wasn't like the greatest value, or people weren't really all over him last week. But now I would not be surprised if we got a winner from this mid-range section, between plus 3,500 and plus 6,500 there. So I think it's a really good week to target that.
For your sleeper picks, you mentioned Wolfe, Pereira. Are these, I'm assuming these are both guys you'd love to in a DFS format.
Yeah, definitely. Like I think Pereira comes with a little bit of risk because of the back issue, but if he's all good during the week and there's nothing that comes out, I would just feel comfortable clicking that. He's really good value at 7,600. And then Matt Wolfe, again, we should mention him for betting because if you're taking a shot on a guy at plus 1,000 or bigger, I mean, it's really like, well, Lanto Griffin is pretty well. Lanto Griffin's 8,000, but yeah, I mean, at plus 1,000 or bigger, I mean, I like CT Pan again. I mean, CT Pan is, I'm just going to keep betting him because he keeps playing well. He keeps producing like top 20s, T15 last week, and his number keeps getting bigger. He's plus 5,500 last week. Now he's plus 11,000. I mean, I don't know. I know the field's stronger, but like, it's not that much stronger. So CT Pan at plus 11,000 and then Matt Wolfe at plus 13,000. Yeah, obviously there's boom or bust. Matt Wolfe is probably either going to come out and shoot 67 or 77 on Thursday. And that's fine. But, you know, you saw what in round 1 last week when Matt Wolfe was on, man, he was tearing apart a tough course, and that's what he can do. And I think that with the way TPC Craig Ranch is set up off the tee, I just think there's more of a chance you see some continuation here. So the fact his number is still there, I'm actually surprised. I really thought we'd be getting a shorter number on Matt Wolfe this week because generally the books overreact to like one good performance. Like, let's not forget, this is like the most highly touted college player ever coming out of college. And, you know, he's gone through a rough stretch, but like the talent is there. So Pan, Matt Wolfe, those are probably 2 guys I'm leaning towards the most. But, you know, there's other playable names. Like we could get behind some other people here if we wanted to, you know, guy like Aaron Rye, Luke List, who people still love. And well, I mean, I love too. We hit him at the Farmers, but yeah, for me, Pan and Wolfe, 2 guys I'm going to stay on for this week.
Okay, very good. Yeah, CT Pan, wasn't he? Well, wait a minute. Nope, I'm confusing him with somebody else. I thought he played well at the Masters, but no, he did not. He did not play at the Masters. I forget.
Played well at the Masters. I think it was 2 years ago. He had a pretty good finish, but it wasn't this year.
Aaron Rye too, 7,200. Like he's played okay.
Yeah,
last few weeks, right?
Yeah, he kind of bombed out last week, but
yeah,
it was in the second round, and it's kind of like a weather thing. Like if your guy was playing well before last week, then they kind of just fell back. I honestly wouldn't worry too much about it. Like David Lipsky is another player I'll probably throw some money on this week at plus 15,000. He was playing fine. He actually had a good first round, and then it just kind of went kaput in the second round because of this weather. And I'm not necessarily going to fault guys too much for that. Like, I think you'll see a lot of these players like Aaron Rye and David Lipsky bounce back this week. Because let's not forget, 2 weeks ago, Lipsky led the field in strokes gained approach. Like, he didn't just become terrible after like 1 round. So, yeah, a lot of things like that to keep in the memory bank for this week.
You know, later in the week, when you end up making a decision, hey, I'm going to play X golfer to finish top. What goes into your thinking when you decide on a guy that you want to decide to dabble in on finishing top 20? Like, how do you pick and choose for those kinds of bets later in the week?
Yeah, I mean, top 20 is generally, I mean, it's just like any bet. It's just like you want to look for the best price. If you think a guy, let's like take CT Pan. I mean, if I think that, you know, CT Pan should be closer to the range where you've got like Munoz and Siwoo Kim, then, I mean, you know, like that's a player that you should be targeting. Obviously you want players who, you know, you think can pop with a little bit of upside as well. Like when you're targeting golfers, a good way to think about it is that you want to give yourselves outs. Like CT Pan's hitting the ball right now. So if he keeps hitting the ball well, he's definitely going to give us a shot. But, you know, CT Pan is also a player who can get hot with his putter. So there's a couple different outs right now for CT Pan. And that's why I don't think that his price should be this big, especially for like a top 20 play, right? So when we get top 20 odds, we can even bring them up. I mean,
yeah, I got it up right here. CT is plus 350.
Yeah, so plus 350. I believe he was like plus in the plus 250, plus 230 range last week. So to me, he's looking like an okay bet. I think you could probably even go a little bit deeper this week, though. Like, you know, I mean, like Lipsky, I mentioned a plus 500. I mean, you know, Lipsky was like a top 4 in Mexico 2 weeks ago. Like, there's really no reason why, you know, this week shouldn't work better for him. You know, just with it being just nicer weather, and I think a more approach-driven course, a little bit easier off the tee too. I think that all helps David Lipsky. So there's multiple players down there that I like targeting. Like you could even, and I think a good way to do it too, when you're looking at top 20 bets, you can just pile in on one player. If you feel really strongly about a player, like, you know, you want to keep on the CT Pan train, fine, go, you know, just target him. Maybe take someone like an Aaron Wise, a plus 230, but you can look at like plus 500 players. You could take like a basket of 2 players, get like exposure to Lipsky, maybe pair him with another guy we like down here. Maybe like Sahith Thigala, who's actually another long shot play. I'm definitely gonna have some money on Thigala. That was another player. Don't forget, where did Thigala almost win this year? TPC Scottsdale. So again, that Weiskopf connection, man, with the designs, I'm telling you, like there is something there. It worked for KH. They worked for Patton Kazire too, another player with good results at both. So Lipsky and Thigala, maybe you take, my point is you put a unit on both, you win one, you're up 3 units, right? Like it's very simple math, but it's a good way to construct a betting card for top 20 bets. So I like this range, and I kind of like that approach this week because there's a lot of good young players in this range, like the plus 500 and bigger range, where these guys have shots at not just getting top 20, but perhaps even competing like for a top 5. So
I was just reading your tweet on Mito, and I liked your last bullet point about why you're in on him this week, and he's good at golf. That's good.
It's true. It's factual.
He's plus 230 to finish top 20, and we discussed his odds to win outright. Anything else you want to dabble in? Anything else? I know you mentioned Koepka for. I mean, Koepka's price, as you said, is not worth getting in on next week because it's just not. You don't think it's probably not priced correctly, right? I mean, or it could be priced correctly. Maybe it's not priced correctly this week, I guess is the better way of putting it for the PGA Championship.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, there's no point in betting Brooks. I mean, definitely don't bet Brooks for this week, in my opinion, or next week right now. Right. Now, we'll see what his number is like a week from now, because that number is going to change. But like for right now, no, you shouldn't be betting Brooks at the PGA Championship. Now, if you want to bet Brooks this week, like I said, I'm down with that, because plus 3,500, he should not be like that much bigger than Will Zalatoris. I mean, it's just a good number. Like Brooks Koepka at plus 3,500 in a regular PGA Tour event, but also a one where, like, I think we have some good like connection here, and potentially one that I think he can just excel at right away. You know, we've got par 5s he can beat up on. It's a big open driving space for him. And, it's, people say, well, Brooks only likes the tougher courses. Well, I don't know. I mean, there's something to that, but he's one, he can definitely dial it up with like the putter too. So, and we've seen him do that at TPC Scottsdale. So there's too much for me to like about Brooks to not really like that number this week. But no, you wait on him for the PGA Championship and you bet him here. And you know what? If he wins here, you're not going to care what his number is at the PGA Championship, because he already cashed in on Brooks Koepka. So bet him here. If he misses the cut, the number for the PGA will go up, and you can just bet him again if you want. Or you can just tell him to screw off and not bet him.
What do you say we go to hockey? You down?
Let's do that hockey.
Okay. How do you feel about your Oilers?
I feel pretty good. I know when we talked about them
night.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's kind of catch 22.
Someone in this Zoom call may or may not have dabbled on them plus 1.5, thinking they would score, and they didn't.
See, I like the Oilers. I'm also like, I just can't handle being a fan of the Oilers and betting on them. So they're a team I actually rarely bet on. But let's go to the series since we brought them up. What's the
series props? Series
props?
Winner, I would assume, or series spread? Because they're only at minus 250 to win the series. They still have the lead. How about the spread?
What's the spread?
Here we go. Oilers minus 1.5 games is plus 150.
Okay. I don't hate it. You're basically asking the Oilers to win 2 games in a row, which is always risky, but you've got to look at it like, if this team wins game 6, I cannot see them not going into LA and just pouring everything possible to get that win. Like, you're going to have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl so amped up to get to the second round. And just because it is so big for those 2 players to prove themselves here and get a playoff win, because it's just been disappointment after disappointment here in the playoffs for the Oilers, right? So my view is that plus 150, it's almost like a bet on the next game. Because if the Oilers close out that game at home, I don't want to say it's a lock that they're going to win in 6, but like, man, I would be pretty shocked if McDavid and Draisaitl didn't like power their way to potentially just to blow a win in game 6. So I feel pretty comfortable that the series is either going to see the Oilers lose game 5 and then potentially go 7 games, or the Oilers win game 5 and it's just over. So I don't mind that plus 150 at all. I really don't. I'm still bullish on the Oilers. I really wasn't expecting them to make it easy. So that's why I say I still feel comfortable about it, because I'm just so used to seeing the Oilers do silly things like, their goalie playing the puck and just letting in a nonsense goal for no reason in a tight game.
Mm-hmm.
And then just not scoring for some reason against LA. So I don't think LA can keep it up, basically, like for two games like that. And we've seen when the Oilers get on track, it's like an avalanche. Like you can't stop it. And the Kings certainly didn't stop it for 2 games. So I think if the Oilers win game 5, it's over. And that plus 150, it's almost like a bet on game 5 for me.
Right. No, I see what you're saying, because if they win game 5, the price for game 6 money line.
Oh, did you freeze, bro? Glash, are you there? Blink twice. All right. That's cool. The Oilers would be definitely favored if, are you back?
I'm here. Sorry. Okay. That was weird.
One of us cut out.
No, it was me. It was me.
It was you. Okay.
1,000% me. Yep. My fault.
I actually, it looked like you were just thinking. So like, I didn't
That's
even
what I thought you were doing.
You were like stuck in a thinking pose. So I'm like,
that's what you were doing. You were looking down. I'm like, oh wait, maybe he's processing what I'm saying. Nope. It was my fault. My fault.
Anyways. Yeah. The Oilers would be pretty heavy favorites for game 6. So, and yeah, anyways, that's how I look at that series. So they're not even playing tonight. So maybe we should just,
no, all good. It was kind of a jumping off point because they got.
No, it's good. I mean, I do like that line, so I'm glad we kind of brought it up. But.
Okay, what do you like tonight?
So for tonight, I am going to stick on the Stars. I really think the Flames are in trouble here, and I'll just give you my thinking if you're watching. Like the Flames are a team who they're obviously they're good defensively. They got a good system, a good structure. But they're going up against a team in Dallas who also have a lot of the same things. And the thing is with the Flames, during the regular season, their secondary scorers were scoring and at rates well above their career pace. And everyone was waiting all year and saying, okay, well, at least I was waiting all year for these guys to cool off. And they kind of just never did. Like they went through small bad patches, but like for the most part, they just like outscored the whole year. But it's the playoffs now, and they're going up against another tighter team. And you're seeing these secondary scores for the Flames just not showing up. Dallas has guys like Seguin, Ben on the second line. Like Dallas has some timely scorers. And I'm telling you, they play a similar structure to the Flames. Their goalie is playing well, and they have good special teams, like probably a better power play than the Flames. Just keep riding Dallas. If Dallas loses tonight, ride them again. This, at the very least, this is going long, in my opinion, this series. I think Dallas goes up 3-1 tonight. And I think the Flames might be done in like 6. I don't know. Maybe it's like my Oilers bias coming in, but I've been waiting all year for this team to cool off because I really had felt that it was coming and they just never did. But I think that we've seen this before from a lot of teams. Regular season heroes become playoff zeros in the NHL so quickly. It's happening a little bit to the Panthers too, but I do think the Panthers bounce back tonight. Dallas is a different beast than Washington. Dallas is a very good system in play. Like I said, Washington, they don't have that high end goaltending. I don't hate hitting up the Panthers tonight in your bets. There's a couple different ways to play them. You could take the over maybe on the team total or team totals. You can even just play the over in the game. The last 5 times these teams have met in Washington, the over is hit. And, but really like even minus 185 on the Panthers tonight, like I don't mind that. This line would have been like minus 225 or something at the start of the series. So I'll play Florida for the bounce back, but I'll keep riding the underdog Stars. The other games.
What was Florida's team total for goals? What would you play?
Oh, for tonight? Oh yeah. Okay. Well, do you have it up?
3.5.
Just give me 1 sec. Yeah, what do we got? So 3.5. Yeah, like I'd be fine playing 3.5 at minus 120. If you like the Panthers, I mean, I think that and let's put it this way: if you're looking at how this game is going to go, and you like the Panthers money line, the Panthers if they win this game, just with how these two teams have played and how the series have gone, they're probably scoring at least 4 goals. So if you're thinking about betting the Panthers to win, like betting them over 3.5 goals, to me, you're getting like obviously a far better line. And that's probably going to hit if the Panthers win anyways. And it might even hit if they lose because, Florida goalies haven't been good. So I think that the over 3.5 is almost a better bet tonight for the Panthers. Wasn't it minus 120 when you clicked it?
Yeah, but I'm just having fun. Same game parlay. Panthers money line, team total over 3.5 minus.
Oh, I see what you're doing. Okay. Anyways.
Yes, but it was minus 120. Yes.
Okay,
sir.
minus 120 over 3.5 goals. Panthers. I like that play. Yeah, there it is.
Nope, that wasn't it.
Again, I think that if Florida wins this game, there's a high chance they're getting 4 goals, and I do not mind playing it that way. And like I said, that does give you the out that if it does stay into a shootout, and like Washington's offense stays hot, you could still hit. So I don't know. A couple different ways to play that. The biggest thing is you're just getting far better odds to go over 3.5 goals than play the straight up money line. So
my fault. It is minus 135 because I had excluding overtime. So
well, yeah. I mean, okay, that's just 2 different ways to play it. And I don't even mind excluding overtime. I mean, you could certainly play over 3.5, or if you want a little bit more safety, you take the minus 135. But either or, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Take the minus 135.5. Again, you're playing it off the money line, the Florida Panthers money line. So instead of getting 185, you're getting minus 135, which is still quite a bit better number.
I can't figure out Rangers Penguins.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, man, because the Penguins are starting a third stringer, Louis Domingue. Yeah, I know I'm not really sure. Like my initial thought was here, okay, Pittsburgh is a better 5-on-5 team. I think they are the better team, but and they've solved the goaltending, which was like, the ace in the hole for the Rangers. So, ipso facto, maybe this series is over, but now you've thrown in the Penguins' third string goalie into the mix. And it's like, okay, like, can the Penguins actually score 6 goals here? Because they might need to do that to keep winning. So yeah, this is a game. This is why I didn't bring up this game right away, because I kind of have a similar feeling to you. My initial feeling is go with the Rangers. You play the Shesterkin bounce back. This guy's just too good, probably too embarrassed not to bounce back. And then you're also getting the Rangers at minus 115 against the third stringer. I think it's fine to play that. I think it's fine to play the Rangers tonight. I'm not obviously they're not my favorite bet because I didn't bring them up first, but that is definitely like a play I would be fine with doing, because I think that number's fair, just considering the circumstances with the Penguins goalie. And I also have a lot of faith in Shesterkin bouncing back. So it's not my favorite play, but it's definitely one you can make.
Yeah. And they're on the road, but they've got it's desperate, right? They're down 2-1. They've got to get this back to New York tied. Wonder what the series price is on that, because that's always fascinating when you're I know, in my opinion, like home ice in the NHL Stanley Cup playoffs is really a crapshoot. I think the home ice thing, it's not the same as NBA, not even close to NBA. It's drastic in the NBA, how much that matters. But what if, from a series standpoint, what would be the series winner right now for Rangers? Okay, plus 150. Yep, that's I don't know if I love that, because you're asking a lot there. You've got to win tonight and get a tied series. Then they have home ice 2 of the final 3 games, if indeed it is 2-2.
Yeah, and the other thing about betting the Rangers is Tristan Jarry could make an appearance at some point. So I think that if you're high on the Rangers, I think you bet them here, and then I don't know if I take a shot with the series. I'd feel better about just betting them money line for tonight.
Yeah.
And I think if you do like the Penguins tonight, if you do like the Penguins, you can just lay off the series, the game, and then look to take the Penguins in the series at 2-2 if they do win, especially if you get good news on Jarry. So the real question is, are we betting the Predators tonight? Are we gonna take them to make like a prideful kind of attempt at a win here? I don't know.
Colorado is plus 100 tonight, minus 1.5 on the puck line.
I would almost guarantee that that's where all the money is going. I'm gonna open my splits here.
I was actually gonna ask you that, because I haven't seen him posted yet. You do a pretty good job.
No, I got him. So right now I'm gonna post them on Twitter right now too, for people who are waiting for those. But so right now we got 80% of the handle, 86% of the bets coming in on the Colorado money line. 91% of the handle is on the Colorado Avalanche puck line. So only 9% of the handle is on the Predators puck line. So,
wow.
Oof. See, and I don't mind. What's the Predators puck line?
Plus 1.5 at minus 120.
I really don't mind that because I think that at the very least, they're going to make this a close game. It's just a pride thing. You often see this in game sevens where, teams are down 3-1 or 3-0. Like, yeah, they lose, but like, at least they make it close. Yep. They make the other team work for like a game.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll see that from the Predators tonight.
They're also not that bad, right? Like this is not a first round matchup. Like that's like all that lopsided. I know Colorado plays like it, man, but yeah.
Well, I mean, in theory, it's not lopsided. It's definitely been lopsided,
yes.
But yeah, I actually don't hate it. I don't hate giving them like a shot tonight. I don't know if I'd play them on the puck line. I definitely rather. I don't know if I'd play them on the money line. Again, Nashville's just so hamstrung. They're playing Connor Ingram and net again. He was okay. He was okay in game 2, obviously, but 41 shots, 51 shots against, 41 shots against. I do think the Predators make a game of this. I think you should see some pride, but it's not, again, it's like low on my list of things to do is bet this game. This one I just kind of want to be over. So
okay.
It's a pretty bad, sell job I'm giving here. I like my 2 bets for tonight are take the Stars and play the Panthers in some way, shape, or form. Either you play the puck line if you just think they're just too good and you like that number, or you play over 3.5 team total goals. Whatever your flavor is, excluding overtime or with overtime, if you want to take the shorter number. Those are my 2 bets.
Okay. Very good. I think that's all the time we got, unless you have anything you want to get to before we go.
No, not really, man. I mean, I think, we could talk NFL stuff, but we'll probably do a little bit of that on Wednesday. And I mean, the NFL stuff
later in the week too. So the whole schedule.
We're going to be doing that all week. Like the schedule's up there. It's so early. It's almost like ridiculous to talk about some of the stuff. I think people know that. So I'd rather focus on, NHL and trying to get people some money tonight. If you are looking for like some player props too.
Yeah.
If you go back to the NHL quickly.
Sure.
There was.
Can I just add though really quick? Like
yeah, go for it.
The Tennessee I know you're high on the Titans, but just seeing a line of a touchdown or more already. Like I know the Bills are going to be good. The Bills are the favorite to win the Super Bowl. They're a touchdown favorite. Second week of the season, Monday Night Football. Like that to me is like, what are we doing? Right? Like I don't know. That's insane.
Well, okay. Now that you've got my attention.
Monday Night Football, week 2. That's not week 1. That's week 2, Monday Night Football.
No, for sure. That's like the second week of the season.
A touchdown dog. Like I know they traded A.J. Brown. Tannehill's he's got issues or he went to therapy. And that's good for him. I'm not trying to make light of that.
But you're right. I mean,
there's a list of things not going great, but they got younger at receiver. They didn't want to pay A.J. Brown, but like they're a touchdown dog. This was a number 1 seed in the conference last year. That's kind of crazy.
How about that line at the bottom? The Packers.
Yeah.
Now that game, I'm pretty sure is the Euro game. Like I think that's in England or something. Yeah, so it's not at Lambeau.
Yeah. 10:30.
But are you telling me the Packers are only minus 6.5 favorites over the Giants?
Yeah, that feels low.
That feels really low to me. Like that line might be minus 12 by the time, minus 10, maybe not minus 12, minus 10, because it's still kind of an earlier season game. So the Giants could be like 500 or something, but like, I'm telling you, man, that actually looks like a bet to me. Like right now, like I might get some money on that and then you can just hedge it and try and middle it or something. Like that is a lot. I cannot see that line going smaller.
Unless Brian Daboll by October 9th, that's week 4. He's turned Daniel Jones into some.
The thing is, even if the Giants are playing well, like the Packers, you need the Packers to just have a terrible start to the season. And even then the line would be like minus 5.5, 4.5, maybe. I don't know. That line seems small, but that's just me. Anyways, You brought it up.
Well, look what we did. We spent the final minutes on football.
There you go. We said we were going to, so.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, but those are some. Those are out there. It's more so to get you excited for football season. Everybody,
I'm getting excited. I love it, man. We got a couple months. Get some best ball drafts in.
Okay, that's gonna do it. Back tomorrow. I'll be here with Shirag and Matt Meiselman. But I think tonight, by the way, real quick, I think tomorrow night in the NBA, better games tomorrow. Like no John Morant tonight for Memphis. That Golden State, I think, is going to roll. They're at home. They scored 142 points the other night. And Julian Edlow said this on Twitter. He can't be more right. I hate to give it to him, but Memphis is 20-5 without John Morant. But when you're at Golden State in a playoff game, it's a little different. Meiselman actually was giving him crap, which I loved.
Yeah, that's like a regular season. That's such a Julian stat.
Well, and I think Meiselman's point was there is some value in Memphis at plus 400.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that. That stat is just like doesn't mean anything. Yeah.
Right. So that's there. And then Celtics Bucks. My bias aside, I don't know what's going to happen. I think the Celtics will win, but I don't know. The Tony brothers is the official tonight, and the Celtics are 2-10 in their playoff tenure, in their playoff history.
What's that series at?
2-1 Milwaukee. So,
right.
Yeah, Kaufman might be off the rest of the week if they lose tonight. So we'll see what happens. Anyway, that's
don't blame the refs.
Yep, exactly. Right. Yep. Blame the officials. I forgot about that. Okay. Thanks to Eamon and Andrew behind the scenes. For Jeff, I'm Brendan Glasheen. We'll see you later, everybody. Back tomorrow night for the Slate. Sweat tomorrow at 11 a.m.
Don't blame the refs.